Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I want to appreciate you so much for taking your time to be a part of us. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. You can also share the videos. To those who have been part and parcel of supporting the channel, I want to say thank you. May God bless you. Several things are happening in Africa. In Congo, we have political strife. Several political parties there and leaders are fighting. In Sudan, we have the same thing. Two warring camps, and the lives of the citizens are really jeopardized. And recently, we had a coup d'etat in Niger. And then we cannot forget the fact that several Africans are meeting in Russia, courtesy of that call by Vladimir Putin in a Russian African summit. One funny thing about what is happening is that the president of Kenya is involved in all these things that are happening in one way or the other. In Congo, we have African troops and Kenyan troops are there leading an onslaught against one of the rebel groups, something that has caused a lot of storms. Some citizens really demonstrated against the Kenyan soldiers' presence in that country. In Niger, recently, in fact, the president gave a very emotional speech appealing for the return of tranquility in that land and condemned what is going on because the president there has been captured. And then in Sudan, the IGAD appointed William Ruto to become as the neutral arbiter between the two warring parties. But one of the warring camps rejected William Ruto, saying that he had taken sides, claimed that during the campaigns he received some money, so that during this moment he cannot play neutral because they are together. He's an ally in one of the parties that is warring, so he is involved. One funny thing about what is happening is that amidst all what is happening, the situation in Kenya is not any different. We have people fighting on the streets. Of course, we have suspension of those demonstrations. People have gone to the streets and telling the president that we are tired of begging. We are tired of you ignoring our voices. We are tired of the finance bill. As we speak today, Okia Mutata has appealed against an appellate court ruling that lifted the ban on the implementation of the finance bill. But where am I heading with all this, ladies and gentlemen? We know that in everything that is happening, we have certain hidden hands. Now today, some of the hidden hands reveal themselves. The US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, in his tweet, kind of exposed a kind of conspiracy theory in Africa. And what am I talking about? If you read what he sent or what he has written on his Twitter page, he says, I spoke today with President William Samoei Ruto of Kenya to advance shared policies including ending the conflict in Sudan and advancing East African community-led talks on Eastern Democratic of Congo. The reason I'm saying that this is conspiracy is one. You see, when we have two warring camps in Sudan, and one of the sides has rejected the president of Kenya, yet the Secretary of State Blinken says that one of the talks is that they were looking at how the conflict in Sudan can end, then it means they know something that we don't know. Because the best thing to do is that once you are rejected, then you keep off. The same thing is happening in Kenya. It is alleged that the Tanzanian president Samia Suluhu, Madam, came to Kenya and he was rejected by the government, and I feel they think that is an ally of Raila Amolo Odinga, because Raila was a very good friend to the late President Magufuli, who had appointed Samia as his running mate. So when you are rejected, just like Samia Suluhu stood aside, then William Ruto must also step aside. And I don't understand why Blinken is saying that they're still discussing how to end. Maybe because Kenya is part and parcel of the IGAD. Number two, I have not seen or heard USA speaking about the conflict in Kenya. Do we really matter? Because when lives are lost on the streets, the only thing I had the USA do was to issue a travel advisory alert that people should not travel to certain places and they should be very careful. But when the police butcher people on the streets, when the police target one particular ethnic group, the USA is very silent. And then when they call, they're discussing Sudan, they're discussing Congo, and they're discussing Niger. What about Kenya? Why can't he tell us that I gave William Ruto a call and we discussed the situation in Kenya? I told him to stop killing innocent people on the street. This is why I'm saying that there is a conspiracy theory between these two countries. Remember, when other nations, African nations, are gathering in Russia, loyalty to the Western masters has compelled William Ruto to stay behind. He neither went there nor sent any representative. I'm talking about a conspiracy theory because all our predicaments are coiled around the West. They installed our president with all the punitive taxes and they are not talking. And we know that the IMF and the World Bank are part and parcel of our problems. Yet no one is talking about it. In fact, I was reading somewhere that when Niger removed subsidies on certain basic commodities, then people started crying foul. And this is why the soldiers responded to people's cries and predicaments. The same thing is happening here because all the subsidies have been removed on fuel, on maize flour, on electricity. So I see an epicenter of our problems from Washington, D.C. Meg Whitman, who is the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, is not talking about the predicaments. He's not talking about police brutality. He is not condemning anything. Yet Anthony Blinken, the Secretary General, is telling us that they discussed matters in other countries. Why don't they discuss matters here? How can William Ruto move to other countries to bring tranquility and peace, yet there is a lot of turmoil, political, social, and economic unrest in his own country? The last time I checked, charity begins at home. And this kind of conspiracy, this kind of hypocrisy must stop, and Kenyans must be left to run their affairs.